He calls out to his child, asking them to stop and put everything aside. Whatever they were doing, whatever was pulling their attention away, let it wait. Because what is happening right now, in this very second, is no coincidence. They did not find this message by accident. Something greater than chance brought them here. And before this day is over, before the night wraps its arms around the sky, there is something their heart needs to hear. Something that has been waiting for them. A message meant only for them at this exact moment in their life. They have been carrying so much, more than most people around them even know. They smile when they are hurting, moving forward even when their legs feel heavy. They answer when people call, even when their own soul is screaming for someone to ask how they are doing. They have been strong for so long that they have forgotten what it feels like to just rest, to just breathe, to just be held. But today, right now, in this moment, he wants them to stop pretending they are okay when they are not. Stop pushing through and just be still. Because he has something to say to them that their heart has been waiting to hear for a very long time. There is a feeling inside them right now. Maybe they have felt it for days or even weeks. A quiet stirring, a soft ache, a sense that something is about to change, that something is near. They cannot explain it fully. They just feel it, like the air before a storm arrives, like the silence before something beautiful begins. That feeling is real. They should not dismiss it. They must not doubt it. That feeling is him reaching toward them, calling their name before they even know he is there. He did not come to them today with empty words. He did not come to fill their ears with pretty promises that fade by morning. He came because there's something true and powerful that he must place inside their spirit before this day ends. Something that will change the way they see themselves, the way they see their situation, and the way they see what is coming. So he asked them to stay open. He wants these words to find the places inside them that have been closed for too long. Let them reach the corners of their heart, where fear lives, where doubt has made a home, where hope has been sitting quietly, waiting for permission to rise again. This message was not made for everyone. It was made for them, for the soul who has been holding on by a thread and wondering if it is even worth holding on, for the one who prays in the dark and then wonders if anyone is listening, for the one who watches others move forward while feeling stuck in the same place. To anyone who feels this way, listen closely. Every word he is about to speak was written with their name in mind. They have been asking him for a long time. They have been praying the same prayer over and over, wondering why the answer has not come. They have waited so patiently that the waiting itself started to feel like punishment. They started to believe that maybe they were not worthy. Maybe they did something wrong. Maybe the promise was never really meant for them at all. But he wants them to know something right now. And they need to really hear this. They were not forgotten. Not for one single second. Not even in moments when the silence felt most deafening. Not even when the darkness felt the deepest. He was there. He has always been there. The reason the answer has not come as they expected is not because he stopped caring. It is because he cares too much to give them something before they are ready to hold it. Consider that for a moment. If he gives a small child a heavy responsibility before they have the strength to carry it, it does not help them. It hurts them. He is not in the business of hurting his children. He is in the business of preparing them, and the preparation they have been walking through, as painful as it has felt, was never punishment. It was always preparation. Dear viewer, every video on this channel is created with love, faith, and dedication to sharing God's Word. If these messages inspire and encourage you, you can support our mission through PayPal, links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for being part of this journey. His children have been going through things that were building them, things that were stretching them, things that were teaching them in ways that no classroom, no book, and no shortcut could ever teach them. The pain they experienced was not wasted. The tears they cried were not wasted. The nights they spent awake, wondering and worrying, were not wasted. Every single one of those moments was being used, not to destroy them, but to develop them, to grow something inside of them that could only grow through that kind of season. There are things he has prepared for their future that are big, not small, and simple, but big and weighty and wonderful. And big things require big foundations. No one can build a tall building on a shallow base. If he had given them the big thing before, the foundation was deep enough it would have crushed them. Not because the blessing was bad, but because they were not yet able to carry it without losing themselves in it. So he waited, and he built the foundation in them through every difficult moment, through every quiet season, through every time they chose to trust him. Even when trusting felt impossible, he was building something in you that cannot be shaken. And now look at you. Look at how far you have come. Look at what you have survived. Look at what you have overcome. You are not the same person you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You are stronger. You are deeper. You are wiser. You have a quiet strength inside you now that only comes from walking through fire and not being burned. That is not nothing. That is everything. And he wants you to stop underestimating what he has built inside of you through everything you have been through. If you are being blessed by this message, let's take a moment to do something together. Take a moment right now and subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. There are people in your life right now who are struggling in the dark, who feel forgotten. You sharing this message could be the exact thing that changes their day, their week, or even their life. You never know what one moment of connection can do for someone who feels completely alone. So please subscribe and share this message. It matters more than you know. Now, let's speak to something deeper, something that has been sitting quietly in the background of your thoughts, even if you have not said it out loud to anyone. The feeling that you have missed something, the fear that the window of opportunity is closed, the whisper that says it is too late, that you have been through too much, that the best version of your story has already passed you by. That is a lie, and he wants to look that lie in the face and destroy it right now. You have not missed it. Your season has not passed. The best is not behind you. He does not work on the kind of timeline that runs out while you are still breathing and believing. He is not sitting up there watching the clock run down on your destiny. He is the one who controls time, the one who knows when every moment is supposed to arrive. And he is telling you right now, clearly and without hesitation, that what he has for you is still on the way. It has not been given to someone else. It has not been canceled. It has not expired. What feels like lateness to you feels like perfect timing to him. He sees the whole picture. He sees every piece of the puzzle, not just the pieces you can see. And from where he stands, everything that has happened, everything that felt like delay and disappointment and closed doors, all of it has been moving you exactly where you need to be. You are not going in circles. You are going deeper. Deeper in faith. Deeper in trust. Deeper in understanding who he is and who you are in him. And now, because of that deep preparation, God says you are ready to receive what he could not safely give before. Let him paint a picture for you. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in the yasidi soil during spring. Then he simply waits. The ground looks completely empty. There is absolutely nothing to see, no fruit, no flowers, and no sign that anything is actually growing. An outsider who does not understand farming might look at that field and say, nothing is happening here. This ground is dead. But the farmer knows much better. He knows that underneath the surface, in the dark and the quiet, something is quietly growing. The roots must go down before the shoot can go up. And when the season turns and the sun is perfect and the rain comes suddenly, life breaks out everywhere. What looked like nothing was actually everything happening deep underground, out of sight, right on schedule. That is exactly what has been happening in your own life. Things are growing underground. Deep shifts are happening out of sight. The roots of your next season have been stretching deep, getting ready for the moment when everything finally breaks through the surface. And that moment is closer than you think, much closer. The hard ground is about to open. The harvest is almost here. Do not give up 5 minutes before everything changes. Now he wants to talk to you about the pain you have been carrying. Not the surface pain, not the easy struggles, but the deepest pain. The kind that you never share with most people. The kind that visits you in those quiet moments when nobody is around. The heavy grief you have never fully allowed yourself to feel. The disappointment that left a scar so deep you were afraid to let anyone touch it. The moment when something broke inside, but you just kept going because stopping felt too dangerous. He knows about that pain. He has seen it. He has been sitting with you in it, even when you believed you were completely alone. And he wants you to know something that he hopes reaches all the way to that deep, quiet place inside of you. That pain is not your identity. It does not define who you are. It does not determine what you deserve. It definitely does not write the ending of your story. That pain was merely a chapter. A hard, heavy, painful chapter. But it is not the entire book. You are far more than what happened to you and what was done to you. You are more than the hardest season you ever walked through. And he is not going to let the enemy use your past pain to rob you of your future joy. Not today. Not on his watch. Because you belong to him. And what belongs to him does not get stolen without a fight. And he has already fought that battle on your behalf. The victory has already been declared. Now it is time for you to walk in it. There's something incredibly powerful about a person who has been through pain and chose not to become bitter. There is something rare and beautiful about a soul who is wounded and still chose to love, still chose to trust, still chose to believe in good things, even after experiencing hard things. That is them. That is what they have done. And God does not take that lightly. Every time they chose love over bitterness, every time they chose hope over despair, every time they chose to get back up instead of staying down, he saw it and he honored it. Even when they could not see any evidence of that honor, it was real. It was being stored. And now the time has come for it to be released. The reward for what they have walked through is not a small thing. It is not a little pat on the back. It is not just a feeling of peace or a nice sunny morning. What he has been building for them through this season of pain and patience is something that will take their breath away. Something that will make the tears worth it. Something that will make even the darkest nights make sense in the light of what he is about to do. Keep holding on. Stay open. The reward is real, and it is near. Let us look closer at the silence they have experienced. The times when they prayed and nothing seemed to happen. The moments when they cried out and the heavens felt like stone. The days when they worshipped and wondered if their words were reaching anywhere at all. Those silent seasons were not evidence that he was gone. They were evidence that something deep was being prepared. Silence is not absence. Let us repeat that so it truly lands. To sink in, silence is not absence. When a teacher gives a student a test, the teacher does not sit next to the student and whisper the answers. The teacher is present in the room, but they're quiet. Not because they do not care, but because the test requires the student to find the answers within themselves. The silence of the teacher is not rejection. It is trust. He has been trusting them in those quiet seasons when his voice felt far away. He was trusting them, trusting that what he had placed inside of them was strong enough to carry them through without constant reassurance. Trusting that the faith he had seen in them was real and not just a fair-weather feeling. Trusting that even in the dark they would not let go, and they did not. They held on. And that to him is incredibly beautiful. Things he has ever seen. The silence was not a punishment. It was a test. And they passed. They passed by staying. They passed by not walking away. They passed by choosing him even when he felt distant. And now the test is complete. And the results of that test are not just a grade on paper. Those trials work a transformation in their spirit. They build a depth of character that could never be formed otherwise. They build a deep trust between them and the Lord that will never break because it was forged in fire. And now, because of that trust, he can speak to them in a new way. Not just as a child needing comfort, but as a partner who has earned spiritual depth. Not just as someone he protects, but as a partner in purpose. They have stepped into a new level of relationship with him. And from this height, they are going to hear things, see things, and experience things they could never access before. The silence prepared them for the sound, and the sound is coming. As his beloved child, this ministry is committed to spreading hope, faith, and the message of Jesus Christ to people around the world. To support this ongoing work and help them continue this mission, please use the PayPal links provided below. Such kindness means more than words can ever express. Now the focus turns to something very specific. The exact promise they have been believing for. The dream, the desire, the promise, the vision they have kept inside their heart for so long that they have almost stopped telling others about it because the wait has been so long. Perhaps they wrote it down somewhere or prayed about it so many times that the prayer now feels worn and thin. Perhaps they have started to wonder if they made it up, if the desire was real, or if they were just deceiving themselves. There is a need to speak to that dream now. The desire in the deepest part of their heart. The one that refuses to die no matter how. Many times life tries to bury it. That longing is not random. That desire is no accident. The Creator put it there. He planted that deep longing inside them on purpose, because He knows what He designed them for and what they are built to carry. And He placed that desire deep inside them so that the dream would never stop, pulling them forward even when life pushed them back. The desire they feel is not wishful thinking. It is a spiritual compass, pointing them directly toward what He has already prepared. Indeed, He does not build a desire without building the destination. He does not plant the hunger without preparing the feast. The very fact that the desire is still alive inside them, after everything they have survived, after all the years of waiting and hoping and facing disappointment, the fact that it remains is proof that He is still working on it. Dead things do not keep burning, but what He has planted inside them has never stopped burning. It has survived every storm, every disappointment, and every reason to stop hoping. It remains there because it belongs to Him, and He is still working. So they must not apologize for the dream or shrink from it. They cannot let anyone talk them out of what God has placed inside them. Those who told them it was too big, unrealistic, or impossible were only looking at it from a limited human perspective. They measured that divine dream against fragile human ability. But God is not human, and His promises were never built on human ability. It was built on His faithfulness, and His faithfulness never fails. Not once. Not ever. So their dream is still alive, and so is His plan to fulfill it. He speaks into their lives about something they may not have thought about in this way before. Every single event that has happened in their life, the good times and the hard, the beautiful seasons and the painful ones, every single moment is being used. Nothing is wasted. Not a single moment. Not one tear. Not one struggle. Not one sleepless night. Everything has been working together. Even when it looked like chaos, even when it made no sense, even when they were crying and confused, everything was working together for their ultimate good. He wants to show them a different way of seeing their story. Instead of looking at the painful chapters as evidence that things went wrong, they should see them as evidence of the depth He is building. The deepest rivers have the most powerful currents. The tallest trees have the deepest roots. The most resilient people have walked through the most difficult seasons. Their depth is not a consequence of their suffering. Their depth is a gift that came through it. And the kind of depth they carry now is the kind that changes the lives of everyone around them. They're going to use what they have been through, not just for themselves, but for others. There are people walking right now through the exact valley they walked through, and they are looking for someone who truly understands. Someone who has been there. Someone who can sit with them in the dark and say, I know, I have been there, and I made it through, and so will you. They are going to be that person for someone. Their story is not just for them. It is a light that God intends to shine through them into dark places they have not even visited yet. If they are still watching, if these words are touching something real deep inside them, they should take a moment right now and subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because there is more. There is so much more He wants to say to them. So much more truth, so much more. He offers encouragement so much more than their heart needs to hear. They must not miss it. If this message touches them, they should share it with someone today. Someone they know is struggling. Someone who feels completely alone. Someone who needs to remember they are not forgotten. They could be the one who changes their entire day with these words. So please subscribe, share, and keep watching. Now, God speaks to them about something unfolding in this very moment, even as they listen. Something taking place in the unseen within the spiritual realm, in that invisible world surrounding everything they can see, touch, and feel. A divine shift is occurring. A holy movement has begun. Doors that were locked have finally started to unlock. Gates that were closed are now beginning to open. Blessings held in heaven on their behalf have begun moving toward them. He knows they cannot see it yet from where they are standing, where things still look exactly as they did yesterday. Their circumstances have not changed yet. What they are waiting for has not arrived yet. Something has changed. Something real powerful and significant has shifted. It changed the moment they chose to stop and listen. The instant they opened their heart enough to receive. The moment their faith reached out, even weakly reaching out with trembling hands toward Him. Heaven responds to faith. Not to perfection or performance, but to faith. And faith is never the absence of doubt. Faith is not the absence of fear, but deciding to trust in spite of doubt. It is the choice to move in spite of fear. The choice to believe even when nothing visible confirms that belief. And that is exactly what they have been doing through everything. Through all the confusion, the disappointment, and the silence. They have been choosing faith, which is the currency of heaven. And what they deposited through every act of faith is being building up. Now the return is coming. So when it starts to happen, when doors begin to open, when provisions start to arrive, when the breakthrough finally shows its face, they must not be surprised. They must not call it luck or think it is coincidence or good timing. They will know it is the fruit of their faithfulness. They will know it is the reward of choosing to trust. When trusting was hard, it is God honoring what they built in the secret place, releasing it openly for the world to see. And it will not come quietly. When the walls of what he has built for them finally break through, the surface, everyone is going to see it. Those who watch them struggle will see them flourish. People who wondered if they would ever make it will soon watch them rise. Not just survive, but thrive. Those who counted them out are going to have to count them back in. Because what he does for his children, he does openly and without apology. And he is about to do it for them. He wants to address a quiet torment that has been weighing on them, the trap of comparison. Looking at other people's lives and measuring them against their own. Seeing someone else get what they have. Been praying for feeling that sharp sting of an emotion too honest to ignore. Asking why others were chosen instead. Wondering what others have that they lack or if they did something wrong. Are they less worthy? Are they simply not enough? We must look at this directly because this kind of thinking is a trap. And he does not want them stuck in that trap any longer. When they look at someone else's blessing and compare it to their journey, they compare a snapshot of someone's highlight to the reality of their process. They do not see what others walked through. To get there, they do not see the price they paid, the nights they cried, the times they almost gave up. They only see the result, and when they compare their behind, the scenes to another's highlight reel, of course it is going to feel unfair. But there's something even more important we must understand. What he has for others is designed for them. What he has for them is designed for them. He is not a God who works from a one-size-fits-all template. He tailors each journey. He designs each season. He crafts each blessing specifically for the person he is blessing. What he has placed inside of them and what he has prepared for them is not a lesser version of what he gave someone else. It is a unique, deeply personal, perfectly designed expression of his love for them specifically. Someone else's breakthrough was timed for their journey. Their breakthrough is timed for theirs. And when it comes, when their moment arrives, it will be so perfectly suited to who they are and what they need and what they have been built for that they will not wish it had come sooner because it will be clear that it came at exactly the right time in exactly the right form, in exactly the right way. That is how he works. Never random, always personal, always perfect. So they must stop looking at what others have and focus on what he promised them. They must stop measuring their worth by someone else's timeline. They are on their own journey, and their journey is exactly where it needs to be. Right on time, right on course, heading exactly where he said it was heading. They must trust their journey. Trust him and trust that what he has for them is worth every single day of the wait. For his beloved children, this ministry exists to bring encouragement, prayer, and God's truth to every heart that needs it. You can support this channel through PayPal with the links in the description and pinned comment. May God bless you richly for your love and support. There is something else God wants to say to you. Something about the people who have caused you pain. Those who walked away without a word betraying your trust. The people who whispered behind your back when you could not defend yourself. Those who abandoned you right when you needed them the most. He knows those wounds are deep. They are not small. He knows some of those scars changed you in ways you are still figuring out. But listen closely to this. Those people, despite the pain they caused, we are never mistakes in your journey. Not a single one. Some were meant to show you what true love is not. So when you finally find the real thing, you will cherish and recognize it. Some left because their heavy baggage was not compatible with where the Lord was leading you. If they had remained, they only would have held you back. Their departure, though painful, was actually a beautiful gift he gave you, even if it felt like loss. And the betrayal, the bitter words whispered against you, and all that unfairness. He saw it. He wrote it down, and he will not let it pass unaddressed. He is not a God who stands by silently while his children are mistreated without responding. Everything you lost during those difficult situations, he is going to restore. What was broken, he will repair. What was stolen, he will bring back to you with interest, because that is his nature. He does not just rebuild. He restores and multiplies. But for that restoration to fully arrive, he needs something from you. He wants you to forgive, not for their sake, but for yours. Resentment is like holding burning charcoal in your bare hand and wondering why it burns. You are the only one getting hurt. When you forgive, you are not saying their actions were acceptable or fine. You are deciding not to let their choices keep you locked in prison. You are releasing them to God, trusting him to handle what you cannot. And when you do that, opening your tight fist to let it go, the pain stops and true healing can finally begin in your heart. He knows forgiveness is not easy. He is not pretending it is, but he promises you that on the other side of that release, there's a profound freedom you have never experienced before, a lightness, a deep peace and a relief so overwhelming you will wonder why you carried that heavy burden for such a long time. Let it go. Give it all to him. Trust him with those who caused you pain, and watch your spirit transform. When you do, now he wants to transition to something beautiful because he does not want you staying stuck in the hard things. He wants to lead you somewhere hopeful, somewhere bright, somewhere that makes your heart feel like it can finally exhale. He wants to speak about what is coming, not in vague terms or just spiritual poetry, but in real and tangible ways. He wants to give you something to hold on to, a vision of what lies on the other side of this season. What is coming into your life is going to surprise you, not in a scary way, but in the best possible way. The kind of wonder that makes you cover your mouth because you can't believe how good it is. The kind of blessing that makes you look back and see every struggle was actually leading here. That every closed door was protecting you from the wrong path, keeping you fully available for the right thing. That every detour was actually a shortcut to something far better than the original route could ever offer. New connections are coming that will restore your faith in people. Real ones. Deep ones. The kind of bond that feels like finding water in a desert. People who will know you, truly know you, and love you anyway. Not the surface version of you. Not the performing version, but the real you. The one who is scared, hoping, and dreaming, broken and beautiful all at the same time. Those people are coming. He has already been preparing them for you and preparing you for them. And when they arrive, you will know, because they will feel like coming home. Provision is coming that's going to lift the heavy weight of financial worry from your shoulders. Not just enough to get by, but enough to breathe, enough to give, enough to bless others with. He knows money has been a constant stress for you. He knows you've lain awake at night running numbers in your head, wondering how things are ever going to work out. But he is the God of more than enough. And what he's releasing over your life is no spirit of barely making it. It is the spirit of overflow. Get ready for it. Ready to receive in ways you never have before. Get ready to be generous in ways you never could be before. The overflow is coming. Divine healing is coming too. Healing for your physical body, your mind, and those deep emotional places that have been wounded and waiting. He is a God who heals not just spiritually, but practically. In real life, in real time. In real bodies and real emotions. The pain that has been hurting you, whether it is physical, emotional, or something in between. He sees it, and he is moving toward it with his hand outstretched. This healing is not just something that happens in some distant future. It has already begun. Right now, in this very moment, as they receive this truth, letting it settle deep into their spirit. Healing begins at the very roots. Let us look at someone in Scripture whose journey reminds us of Joseph. It is a familiar story. He had a massive dream. A dream so vast that those closest to him felt threatened by it. Instead of supporting his vision, they chose to hurt him. They cast him into a pit, selling him into slavery. They took the coat representing his grand promise, dipped it in blood, and used it to lie about his fate. Then things grew worse. A trusted supervisor falsely accused him of a crime. He was thrown into prison for a crime he never committed. He sat in that dark cell day after day, night after night, wondering where his dream had gone, wondering if the promise was even real, wondering if everything that had happened to him meant that his faith was built on a lie. Yet the dream was not dead. It was only buried quietly, developing and growing deep before it finally went up, and then in a single day, everything changed. Not slowly, nor gradually, but in one day. The very prisoner was suddenly made the second most powerful ruler in the entire nation. The dream that seemed dead was now more alive than ever. Not only was Joseph fully restored, but he became the very salvation for the people who had heard him. This is their story representing the ultimate reversal being prepared for them. The dream is not dead. The promise is not lost. The prison they feel confined in is not permanent. It is merely a waiting room. And what they are waiting for is not just their personal breakthrough, but a breakthrough so massive it will touch the lives of everyone around them and beyond them, just like Joseph's powerful story. It was never just about him, but about an entire generation. Their breakthrough is not just about them. It has a purpose far beyond. Heaven is putting everything in place, so they must stop counting days in prison and start preparing for the palace. Not because they earned it by being perfect, but because God is faithful and He does what He promises, having spoken this decree over their life for a divine purpose. They must hold on and never let go. The turning point is much closer than they think. There is a profound truth about their core identity, because somewhere along the way, through all the brutal seasons, through all the heavy disappointment and difficulty, the enemy has been whispering lies to them about who they are. And some of those whispers have settled in not in a dramatic way, but quietly, subtly, like a slow leak. They began believing they were less, then starting to agree with the painful labels that fear and failure tried to place on them. They began seeing themselves only through the lens of their hardest moments, rather than through the lens of His unchanging love. He wants to correct that now. They are not what happened to them. They are not the mistakes they made. They are not the version of themselves who struggled through the hardest seasons. They are not the worst thing someone said about them. They are not a mere collection of their failures. They are His child made with intention, placed here with purpose, designed with gifts and strengths and capacities that are unique to them and needed by the world. He did not make a mistake when He made them. He did not accidentally put too much of one thing and not enough of another. He did not look at their life and wish He had made them differently. He made them exactly as He intended. And the things they see as flaws, the things they wish were different about themselves, He sees them differently. Some of what they call weakness is actually sensitivity, the kind that will allow them to reach people who need someone who truly understands. Some of what they call a limitation is actually protection, keeping them grounded when pride might have taken over. They are more than they think they are. They carry more than they realize they carry. And when they step into the fullness of who He created them to be, not trying to be like someone else, not shrinking to fit into someone else's expectations, but fully, freely, confidently being exactly who He made them to be, that is, when the real impact begins. That is when the real fruit comes. That is when people who need what only they carry finally find what they have been looking for. So He asked them today, stop apologizing for who they are. Stop shrinking, stop hiding, stop waiting until they feel more qualified, more ready, more perfect. They are already who He needs them to be for this moment. And the world needs what He put inside of them. Step into it. Walk in it. Own it. Not with arrogance, but with quiet, steady, God-given confidence. The kind that does not come from their own strength, but from knowing whose they are. He wants to talk to them about prayer. Real prayer. Not the kind that sounds good. Not the kind that uses all the right words. But the honest, raw, sometimes messy conversation that happens between them and Him in the quiet. The kind where they do not know how to start, so they just say, God, I am here. The kind where the words are not elegant, just real. The kind where sometimes they just sit in silence because they have run out of words and the silence is the prayer. That kind of prayer moves Him more than they know because it is honest. And He treasures honesty above eloquence every single time. The perfectly crafted, a beautifully worded prayer performed for an audience does not reach Him the same way as the broken, honest cry of someone genuinely trying to find Him in the dark. That second cry is what touches His heart. That is what gets His attention and moves His hand. He wants you to know that whenever you came to Him broken or showed up imperfect or came with questions and confusion and even anger, He was not disappointed. He was deeply moved because you came. In spite of everything you came, you did not give up. You did not walk away. You kept coming back, and that faithfulness, that kind of persistence is what He honors. Dear soul, if these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of His love, please consider supporting this ministry through the PayPal links below. Together, we can keep sharing hope and his word with countless souls around the world. There is a story in the Bible about a woman who would not stop asking. She went to a judge over and over. He did not care at first, but she refused to give up. And in the end, because she would not stop coming, he answered her. God does not share this story to say that he is like that indifferent judge. He is nothing like him. It shows you the power of persistent faith, of never giving up, of coming back again and again. Your persistent prayer tells him something about your belief, and that belief is what he responds to. Keep coming. Keep praying. Not because you have to prove yourself, but because your conversation with him matters. You need it, and honestly, he treasures it. Every word you say to him is heard, and every word he has spoken back to you through moments of peace, through people who spoke the right words at the perfect time, through songs that felt written just for your exact situation. And through this very message right now, he has been answering you. Keep listening. Keep coming. Keep the eerie conversation alive. The time has come to speak of something that will set you completely free if you let it in. It is about rest, about learning to trust him enough to actually rest. Not just stopping for a moment before jumping back into the chaos, but real deep rest. The kind where your soul exhales and your grip loosens, and you actually believe he has it. You have tried to control things that are far too big for any human to control. You have been carrying weight, never designed to be yours. They have spent so much time playing God in their own lives, trying to manage every variable and anticipate every single outcome, constantly trying to prevent any possible disaster from happening. And it has completely exhausted them because it is an impossible job, one they were never meant to do. God invites them today to put down that heavy weight, not because the situation is not serious, not because there is nothing at stake, but because he is bigger than all. And he has been working on it before they even started worrying. Their worry has never once added even a single inch to the solution. But their trust, their surrender, their decision to let him carry what is too heavy for them, that opens a door for him to move where striving never could. What does it look like practically to trust him? It means going to sleep tonight without rehearsing the worst case scenario and simply taking one step at a time without needing to see the entire staircase. It looks like doing only the part they can do and letting go of the part that belongs to God, leaving it in his hands. It means breathing deeply all the way down and saying, God, I trust you, and truly meaning it when it is hard. Because here is the truth. Rest is not irresponsible, nor is it weak. Rest is not giving up. It is confidence, the outward expression of inward trust. It says, I believe my God is working even when I am not. I believe the outcome is secure even when I cannot see it. I believe I do not have to earn my breakthrough through exhaustion. I believe he is faithful even when everything feels uncertain. That is the kind of rest God is inviting them into. Not passive, but powerful. Not defeated, but fully decided. Decided to trust. Decided to believe. Decided to drop that heavy weight and let him carry it the way he was designed to. And from that place of rest, from that quiet place of peace, they will be able to hear his voice so much clearer. They will clearly see the steps he is asking them to take. They will find the strength to move with wisdom instead of panic, because rest never slows them down. It actually makes everything clearer, everything much lighter, and completely aligned with the perfect plan he has for them. He wants to close this part of the conversation by speaking a specific promise over their future, over the days, weeks, and months that lie ahead of them. He wants to plant something in their spirit that grows as they walk forward. So they should listen closely, letting these words sink deep. The days ahead of them are good, not because nothing difficult will ever happen, but because he will be in every single moment, changing everything. The provision that has felt so tight will loosen. The door that has been closed is going to open. The relationship that has been broken is going to be repaired, or something even better is going to replace it. The dream that has felt dormant is going to wake up. The purpose that has felt distant is going to come into focus. The joy that felt like it left is going to return. And when it does, it is going to feel more real and more solid than it ever did before, because it is going to be rooted in something deeper than circumstances. They are going to look back on this season, this hard, confusing, and painful season, and they will say, that was where everything changed. That was the turning point. That was where they stopped surviving and started becoming who they were always meant to be. And it will not be because the season was easy. It will be because they stayed, because they trusted, because they kept their hand in his, even when it was dark and they could not see where they were going. And he is going to be with them in every single step. He is not going to leave them when things get complicated. He is not going to walk away when they make a mistake. He is not going to pull back when they feel unworthy or unsure or unsteady. He's going to be exactly where he has always been, right beside them, not just watching, but walking, not just observing, but guiding, not just waiting for them to figure it out, but whispering the right direction at exactly the right moment. The future he has written for them is one of joy, purpose, peace, abundance, and love. Real love. The kind that holds, heals, and stays. He wrote it before they were born. He's been protecting it through every storm they walk through. And now, as they step forward from this moment, they step toward it. Every day brings them closer. Every act of faith moves them nearer. Every choice to trust rather than fear pulls the future toward the present just a little bit more. So they walk forward without dread. They walk forward with the expectation, knowing that they are not walking alone. And they are not walking towards something uncertain. They are walking towards something he has already prepared. Something waiting. Something good. Something that is going to make every hard thing they walk through completely and entirely worth it. To his precious child, he wants to say something to them now that they must carry from this moment on. Not just today, not just this week, but for the rest of their life. For the moments when things are good, and especially for the moments when you are not. For the days you feel him close, and for the days when the silence stretches and the doubts get loud. You are loved. Not because of what you do, not because of how well you perform, not because your faith is perfect or how consistent your obedience has been. You are loved because you are his. That is it. That is the whole reason. You are his child, and he loves you with a love that never changes based on your behavior. A love that does not grow when you are good and shrink when you fail. A love that is not waiting for you to earn it, because you could never earn what has already been freely given. This love has been with you since before you took your first breath. It has been in every moment of your life, even the ones that felt the most lonely. It has not wavered in your darkest hours. It has not disappeared in your seasons of shame. It has not been conditional on your understanding of it or your ability to feel it at all. It is simply true, constant, unshakable, and eternal. And because that love is real, because he is for you and not against you, because he has good plans for you and not plans to harm you, you can trust him. You can trust the process, even when you do not understand it. You can trust the journey even when the road is unclear. You can trust the silence, even when it feels unbearable. Because behind every silence, behind every season, behind every hard chapter, there's a love that is not going anywhere. A love that is always working, always building, always preparing, always guiding you towards something beautiful. That is the truth he wants you to carry. Not as a nice feeling that fades by tomorrow, but as a deep-settled, unshakable knowing. The kind that becomes the foundation beneath everything else in your life. The kind that holds you steady when everything around you is shaken. The kind that whispers, I am loved. I am not alone. I am going to be okay even in the moments when nothing else confirms it. Because you are. You are loved. You are not alone. And you're going to be okay. More than okay. You are going to be transformed, restored, renewed, raised up into everything he created you to be. This is not the end of your story. It is not even close to the end. It is actually one of the most important beginnings you have ever had. And he is so excited for you to see what comes next. Walk forward, dear child, with your head up, with your heart open, with your hands ready to receive, and your feet ready to move. The best is not behind you. It is ahead, and he will be with you every single step of the way. If these words have touched your heart today, if something in you has shifted, if something has been ignited or healed or strengthened, he wants to encourage you one more time. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. There are people in your life walking through a deep valley right now, feeling completely unseen, forgotten, and tired of waiting. This message might be exactly what they need. Be the one who shares it. Be the one who opens a door of hope for someone who stopped knocking. And keep coming back. There's more truth, more encouragement, and more of this sacred conversation waiting for you. Because you truly matter. Your journey matters. And there is always more that he wants to say to you. So stay close. Stay open. No matter what happens between now and the next time you press play, he is not moved. He is right here, still speaking, still building, still loving you. And he always will be. For you, every video is created with prayer time and dedication to reach those who are in need of encouragement and faith. Supporting this ministry through PayPal helps keep this mission growing and touching more lives every day. May God bless you abundantly, his child. Let's look now at something practical. Because he is not just a God of spiritual feelings and poetic promises. He is a God who moves in real life, in everyday moments, in practical and tangible ways. And he wants to give you practical truth to hold on to as you walk forward. First, pay attention to the peace. When you face a decision, and one option brings a deep settled peace, even if it makes no sense, while the other option brings anxiety, even if it looks more logical on paper. Follow that peace. He speaks through peace. Not always through the path that looks most sensible, but through the path that brings the kind of inner calm that the world cannot explain. That peace is his signal. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't let other people's logic override it. Trust it. Second, don't despise small beginnings. The thing he is building in your life is going to start small. It almost always does. And the enemy will try to use that small start to discourage you into giving up before the growth comes. Don't fall for it. The seed is always smaller than the tree it becomes. The beginning is always quieter than the story it'll tell. Stay faithful in the small. Be diligent in the little. Honor the process. Because what he starts small, he intends to grow large. And the care you give to the beginning is preparation for stewardship of abundance. Third, surround yourself with the right voices. This is not a small thing. The people you allow to speak into your life shape how you think. The voices people listen to regularly shape the lens through which they see their circumstances. If they surround themselves with voices that constantly speak doubt, fear, lack, and limitation, it will block their ability to receive what God says about abundance, possibility, and promise. Influences must be chosen wisely. They should seek out those who walk in faith, who trust through hard seasons and speak life instead of death. Those words will reinforce what God is building within them. And right now, especially, they desperately need that reinforcement. Fourth, they should celebrate God's past works. Before the breakthrough arrives, before the next big thing, they must take time to remember and honor what he has already done in their lives. The times he came through, the moments he showed up, the answered prayers, even the smallest of victories. Gratitude is no mere habit. It is a powerful spiritual practice. Gratitude tells heaven, I see what you are doing. I recognize your hand. And I will not wait until I have everything to be thankful. I will be thankful in the middle, in the process, in the waiting. And that posture of gratitude opens doors for even more, because one cannot receive more if they fail to value what they already possess. And fifth, they must keep showing up, getting out of bed. They must pray even when it feels repetitive. They must worship even when they do not feel it. They must keep putting one foot in front of another. They must keep their relationship with God active and alive, even in seasons when it feels quiet. Because the person who keeps showing up is the person who will be there when the shift comes. The person who gives up right before the breakthrough completely misses out. They must not be that person. Keep showing up. God always rewards those who stay. There is a magnificent moment coming in their lives that they are going to remember for the rest of their lives. A moment where everything that felt confusing, scattered and uncertain, suddenly clicks into place. A moment where they look back at the path they walked and see clearly and completely how every single piece fit the plan, how every struggle was a setup, how every delay was actually a divine appointment in disguise, how every closed door protected them from a dead end and redirected them to something better. God knows they want that moment now. He knows they are ready for clarity, and he assures them they are closer to that breakthrough than they have ever been. The picture is becoming clearer. The pieces are coming together. The puzzle that was once face down on the table is starting to turn piece by piece. And the image is becoming visible, not all at once. Because if they saw the whole picture at once, it would overwhelm them. But piece by piece, he gives just enough at a time for their faith to grow into the absolute fullness of what is being revealed. And when that moment of full clarity finally comes, when they see it all, understand it all, and tears flow not from pain, but from pure, overwhelming gratitude, they will want to tell everyone They will want to shout from the rooftops about his faithfulness. And he welcomes that wanting their story to become someone else's hope, wanting what he did in their life to light a fire in another soul who is still sitting in the dark, waiting for their breakthrough. Their testimony is going to matter, not just for them, but for others. There are people on the other side of their breakthrough who need to hear that it is possible and that the long wait was worth it. They need to hear that God does not forget and that true faithfulness always gets rewarded. Their story, the entire story, the painful chapters and the glorious ending is something he will use to reach people they have never even met. So, as painful as the waiting has been, it builds a testimony that will outlast them. They must prepare for that. They must prepare to tell it, to stand before crowds or in their own quiet circle and say, he did it. He was faithful. He came through. The promise was real. And the wait was worth it. And the God who did it for me will do it for you too. That is the testimony he is building, and it is almost ready to be told. Now he wants to speak about something deeply tender, something he wants them to feel, not just hear. His love for them is not just some concept. It is not a doctrine nor merely a theological truth for the mind to understand. It is a living, active, warm, and real presence surrounding them right now as they receive this message. It is the exact reason this message found them today. It is why he arranged for these specific words to reach them at this exact moment, because love never sits quietly when one of its own is hurting and struggling, wondering if they are even seen. He is love, and love shows up. Love always finds a way. Love breaks through the noise, the distraction, the busy schedules, and the walls built around weary hearts for protection. Love finds the crack in the wall, slips through and says, I am here. I see you. You are not alone. I am not going anywhere. That is exactly what he is doing right now for them, slipping through the crack, finding the place where the wall is thin, speaking into the place where they still have a little hope left, a little bit of faith still breathing, and saying, do not give up. He is here, and everything is going to be okay. You need to realize this today, not just as a warm feeling, but as a foundation. The love he has for you is your foundation, not your circumstances, not your performance, not the opinions of the people around you, not the balance in your bank account or your relationships or your health. The love he has for you is the one thing that never moves, never changes, and never fades. It never depends on what you do or fail to do. From that solid foundation of love, from that unshakable place of being fully and eternally loved, you can face anything, absolutely anything, because the worst that could happen to you is not the final story. Because he is already in the worst case scenario, already working in it, already using it, already turning it into something beautiful. That is what love does. It never leaves you in the hard places. It walks into those dark valleys with you working until the hard becomes something holy. Let that sink in. Let his love sink in. Not just the concept, but the actual weight of it, the reality of it, the truth that the creator of everything, who holds the universe in place and knows every star by name, knows your name, knows your story, knows your pain, knows your hope, and chooses to love you with a love that has no boundaries, no conditions, no expiration. That is not small. It is everything, and it is yours right now without earning it or even deserving it, simply because you are his and he is yours. Before we move toward the close of this message, there is a vital truth that needs to be stated clearly. Because there is one final thing you truly need to hear before you walk away from this moment. And it is this: you have full permission to hope again. Real hope. Not the careful, guarded, half-hearted, 1 foot in and 1 foot out kind of hope you have been allowing yourself to feel out of fear of being disappointed once again, but a full, open-hearted, all-in, completely committed hope. It is clear why you have been careful with it. Hope makes you vulnerable. When you hope fully and the thing you desired does not show up the way you expected, the disappointment is crushing, and you have indeed been crushed before. So you learn to keep hope at arm's length, to believe just enough, but not too much, to want things, but shielding that desire with protective distance. So if it does not come, the fall will not hurt. But that kind of guarded hope is not true hope at all. It is just wishful thinking with a safety net, and it actually limits what he can do. Because the limit of what people allow themselves to believe becomes the ceiling of what they position themselves to receive. If they only half believe, they only half receive. But if they dare to hope fully believing, completely throwing themselves into the promise with everything they have, the room for him to move becomes limitless. So today he is granting permission. Permission to hope fully again, to believe without reservation. Expecting good things, not because circumstances are promising, but because he is faithful. To look at their future, not with dread or distance, but with genuine expectation and open-hearted joy. Daring to be excited for what is coming. Daring to let themselves want it fully. Daring to believe the best is truly ahead and not behind. Because it is. The best is ahead. He has seen their future and it is good. Not easy, but good. Not without challenge, but filled with purpose and joy and love and meaning. The things they have been aching for are real, and they are coming, and they are worth every moment of the wait. So let them feel it. Let them believe it, letting hope rise in their chests without immediately trying to push it back down. With practical reasoning. Hope is not foolishness. Hope in him is one of the wisest things they can do, because he is not going to let them down. He is unable to let them down. It is not in his nature. Faithfulness is who he is, and his faithfulness toward them is certain and permanent and unbreakable. So let it rise, let hope rise, and let it carry them forward into everything waiting for them on the other side of their trust. And now, dear souls, they reach the end of this conversation, but not the end of his speaking, and not the end of their story. This is actually one of the most important beginnings they will ever experience, because something shifted today. Something moved in them as they listened. Something that was closed opened a little bit more. Something that was heavy became a little bit lighter. Something that was uncertain became a little more clear. That is the beginning of transformation. It does not happen all at once, but it starts in moments exactly like this one, when truth finds the right crack in the wall and gets in, when hope is given permission to rise, when love is allowed to land, when trust takes one small step forward. They took that step today. They stayed. They listened. They opened. And that matters more than they know. He wants to send them from this moment with something to hold on to. Not a feeling that will fade by tomorrow, but a truth that will anchor them in every storm, every silence, every season of waiting that lies ahead. Writing it in their hearts, speaking it out loud when fear tries to take over. Reminding themselves of it in the moments when doubt grows loud. They are not forgotten. They are not left behind. They are never too broken to be used, nor too far gone to be restored. They are not too ordinary to carry an extraordinary purpose. They are not too old, too young, too small, too much, too little, or too late. They are exactly who God created them to be, right where he designed them, perfectly on time for everything he has prepared, covered by a love that never fails, held by hands that never let go walking, toward a future that is brighter and more beautiful than anything they have ever been able to imagine. Indeed, a single act of kindness can help God's message reach someone who needs hope today. For those who feel blessed by this channel, they can support this ministry through the PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Their generosity helps spread God's powerful love one soul at a time. God is for them. He is with them. He is working on their behalf at this very moment. And he won't stop until every promise spoken over their lives has come fully and completely to pass. Not one word will fall to the ground. Not one thing he has spoken will return empty. What he said, he will do. What he promised, he will fulfill. What he started, he will complete. They are his children, and he loves them with an everlasting love, one that existed before the beginning and will remain after the end, a love that holds them right now and will never, ever let them go. They can walk in that love, rest in that love, build their lives on it, and watch what becomes possible when they live from a foundation that cannot be shaken. The best days of their lives are not behind them. They lie ahead, and God will walk with them through every single one. That is his promise, and he always keeps his promises. They can go in peace with the assurance that they are deeply, completely, and eternally loved. God knows there is still more he wants to tell them, because this conversation, as long as it has been, barely scratches the surface of everything that is in his heart for them. There is an ocean of love, truth, and promises behind every word he has spoken, and he could speak to them forever and still never exhaust it. Yet, he wants to use their remaining time to go even deeper into the truths he knows will carry them through every season ahead. He wants to address their fear of the future, knowing that it still lingers, even with everything he has said today. Despite all the hope and all the truth and all the promises, there is still a part of them that feels a quiet trembling when they think about what lies ahead. Not because they doubt him, but because the future is unknown to them. And unknown things, even good unknown things, can feel unsettling when they have faced hard surprises in the past. They have been surprised by pain before. They have been blindsided by loss, walking confidently into things that it fell apart in your hands and your nervous system still remembers. Your soul carries the heavy memory of those disappointments. And so, even when the road ahead finally looks clear, a part of you stays braced for the next unexpected blow, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, wondering what the catch is. This goodness that seems to be promised. He wants to speak peace into that trembling place right now. He does not promise that nothing hard will ever happen again, because he will not make a promise that ignores the reality of a broken world. Hard things still happen here. Pain is real, and loss visits everyone. But he is making you a very different promise. A promise far more valuable than simply promising that nothing bad will ever happen. His promise is this: he will be in it. Whatever comes, he will be in it. Whatever you face, he will be facing it with you. Whatever blindsides you will never blindside him. He is already in your future present in every situation you have not reached yet. He is already working in the rooms you have yet to walk into, and in the days you have not lived, moments you cannot yet imagine. Not a single second of your future exists outside of his awareness and his care. Not one. And because he is already there, you do not have to fear it. You do not have to brace yourself. You do not have to white-knuckle your way through tomorrow. You can walk forward with open hands and an open heart, knowing that the same God who walked with you through everything that has already happened, the God who was faithful in every storm you have already faced, that very God has gone ahead of you into everything still to come. And he has declared that it is good, not perfect, but good, deeply, fundamentally, purposefully good. That is the kind of peace he wants to settle into your spirit today. Not the peace that comes from knowing everything is going to be easy, but the peace that comes from knowing you are never going to be alone. The peace that comes from trusting the one who holds tomorrow in the same hands that have held you today. That peace is available to you right now. Reach for it. Receive it. Let it replace the trembling and then walk forward. He wants to speak about something else that might be sitting quietly in the back of your mind, the question of whether you have done enough, whether you have been faithful enough, whether your prayer life is being consistent enough, your worship sincere enough, your obedience complete enough, whether there is something you did or did not do that's holding back his blessing, whether the delay is actually a consequence of some failure on your part. Let him address this clearly, and he says this delay is not your punishment. Your waiting is not a consequence of your failures. He is not holding your blessing hostage until you meet some standard of spiritual performance that you have not yet reached. That is not how he works. That is not who he is. He is a God of grace, not a scorekeeper, a God of mercy, not a taskmaster. Yes, there are things in your life that he is working on. Yes, there are areas where he is still shaping, refining, and growing you. That is always true of every person he loves. The process of becoming is never finished on this side of eternity. But the progress he is making in your character and the blessings he has prepared for your life are not on different tracks, where one must be complete before the other can begin. They move together. As you grow, the fruit grows. As your roots go deeper, the harvest comes closer. It is not a test you have to pass first. It is a journey you take together. So if you have been carrying guilt about your spiritual inconsistency, if you have been afraid that you have disqualified yourself from the promise through your imperfections, release that burden right now. He has not disqualified you. You cannot disqualify yourself from a love that was given freely and unconditionally. You can drift. You can go through dry seasons. You can struggle and stumble and fall. And through all of it, the love remains. His promise remains. His plan remains. Because the plan was never contingent on your perfection. It was always contingent on his faithfulness. And that does not change. Come to him as you are, not as you think you need to be. Not cleaned up and put together and presenting your best version. just as you are right now in whatever state you find yourself. That is who he wants. That is who he has always wanted. The version of you that shows up honestly, not perfectly, because that is the version he can work with most powerfully. The one who knows they need him. The one who is not pretending. The one who comes with open hands, because they have stopped pretending their own hands are enough. You are enough for him as you are, and he is more than enough for you. That combination, your availability and his ability, is all that is needed for everything he has promised to come to pass. Stop waiting until you feel worthy. You already are, in him, through what he has done, not what you have achieved. You are worthy and you are loved and you are ready right now, just as you are. He wants to take a moment and speak something very specific over the relationships in your life. The ones that are healthy, growing, and beautiful, and the ones that are strained, broken, and painful, because relationships are so close to his heart. He designed them for connection, creating human beings to need each other, to strengthen one another, to be vessels of his love, grace, and truth to one another. And when relationships are healthy, authentic, and rooted in love, they become a powerful reflection of who the Creator is. But they know that not all their relationships have looked like that. Some have been sources of deep pain, draining them rather than filling them. Some have taken far more than they gave. Some ended in ways that left deep wounds they are still trying to understand. And in the middle of all that heartache, they might have started closing off their hearts, becoming more guarded, deciding that it is safer to keep people at a distance, believing vulnerability is simply too costly. And that connection comes with too high a price. He understands why those walls went up. They were self-protection, and for a season, those barriers served a real purpose. But he wants to speak to them now about whether those walls are still serving them or if they have become a prison of their own kind. Because walls built to keep pain out can also keep love out. And he has beautiful, genuine, life-giving love waiting to enter their lives through real people. But love cannot penetrate walls. He asks them today to consider lowering those walls slightly, not all at once, not with everyone, and never without wisdom, but intentionally, carefully with the people he will bring to them or has already placed around them, beginning to open up again and let themselves be known, to risk the vulnerability of genuine connection, because the alternative, staying protected and closed and safe, is not truly living. He did not create them to merely survive. He created them to truly live. The relationships that are coming into their lives are going to be different from the ones that hurt them. He is sending safe people, those who have been through enough of their own pain that they know how to handle theirs with care. People who will not use their openness against them. People who are looking for exactly the kind of depth and authenticity they carry. People who will love them not in spite of their scars, but in recognition of them because they carry their own. Be ready for those people keeping their eyes open for them. They will not always announce themselves loudly. Sometimes the most significant relationships in their lives begin quietly. A brief conversation, a moment of unexpected connection. A person who sees them when they did not even know they were visible. They must not miss those moments by being too guarded. Remain open, stay present, and let him bring the people he has prepared into the space you make available for them. There is one more thing he wants to say before he brings this message to its final close, and it is something he wants you to carry with you, not just for today, but for the rest of your life. A truth so simple and so deep that it will never stop being relevant no matter what season you are in or what circumstances you face. He is enough. Not you, not your abilities, not your circumstances, not the support of the right people or the presence of the right resources. He is enough. And because he is in you, with you, and for you, his enough becomes your enough. His strength becomes your strength. His wisdom becomes your wisdom. His provision becomes your provision. His peace becomes your peace. Not by transfer, but by presence. Because he is present in your life. Everything that he is available to you. That means there's nothing you will face that you do not have the resources to handle. Not because you are unlimited, but because the unlimited one lives in you. There's no situation too complex for his wisdom to guide you through. There is no need too great for his provision to meet. There is no wound too deep for his healing to reach. There is no enemy too powerful for his protection to cover. There is no darkness so complete that his light cannot penetrate it. You are carrying something that the world does not understand and cannot manufacture. You are carrying the presence of the living God. And that presence is not a feeling that comes and goes. It is a permanent reality. It was not taken from you in the hard seasons. It was not diminished by your failures. It was not conditional on your faithfulness. It is simply completely and permanently yours because you belong to Him. And knowing that, truly knowing that, changes everything. It changes the way you walk into a room. It changes the way you face a challenge. It changes the way you respond to disappointment. It changes the way you see yourself and the way you see others and the way you see every situation that comes your way. Because you are not facing any of it alone. You are not facing any of it with only your own limited resources. You are facing all of it with Him. And with Him, all things are possible. Not some things, not easy things, not things that happen to work out through natural circumstances. All things, the impossible things, the things that seem too big, the things that make no logical sense, the things that everyone around you has said will never happen, the things that even you have stopped fully believing for. All things are possible with Him. So walk. Step out of this moment with that truth firmly planted in your spirit. He is enough. You plus Him is always enough, no matter what comes, no matter what you face, no matter how impossible the situation appears. You have the infinite, undefeated, unfailing God on your side. And that is not a small thing. That is everything. You are going to be okay, more than okay. You are going to be amazing. Not because of what you are capable of on your own, but because of who is living inside of you and walking alongside you and going before you. The journey ahead is full of good things, real things, things worth every moment of the wait, and He will be with you in every single one of them. Go now, His child, and live like you believe it, because it is true. Every word, every promise, every declaration of love and faithfulness and future goodness, all of it is true. All of it is yours. All of it is waiting just ahead, and He will be there when you arrive.